up, fam? This your boy, Sly Jones, and you listen to the Get Down Live. And you know I'm rolling out. When I roll out, I got my girl, Livy E to my right.
What's up, what's up?
And I got my girl, Essence Love, to my left.
Lovers out there.
Yeah, man, the crowd loving us, man. It's going down. What's going on, ladies? Essence Love, you've been gone for a little bit. How you feeling?
I feel much better. My voice was gone, but I feel so much better. I miss you all so much.
Did you really?
Yes.
Now, was you out there on the beach, butt naked, stabbing people?
That's
of course, you know I was. You already know I was.
She keeps it turned up, man.
You know I was.
Keeps it turned up.
Keep my knife in my pocketbook.
Hey,
Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready.
That's how we say in Mississippi.
Mm-hmm. Stay ready so you got to get ready. Hey, you see, you go to Mississippi, there you go. They keep it in their pocketbook.
Pocketbook.
Yeah, man. Well, check it. We got a nice show lined up for y'all. Man, we gonna get all up into it.
I'm ready.
But check it. Let's get to the topic of the day because we got a special guest and I can't wait to bring her in. But let's get to the topic of the day first. Topic of the day. What's the main factor or cause that breaks up a marriage? Let's go to Essence Love first.
Uh-oh. You ready for this theme already?
I'm ready. We missed it.
All right. I think the main factor is, there's a few of them that I have.
Okay.
First one being cheating. Of course, that's like top of the list.
Yeah, that's what breaks up a relationship?
Well, for me. You asked for me.
Okay.
Right?
I thought sometimes it just makes it grow stronger just a little bit.
No, I don't need that going stronger. Okay. Life is too short.
All right.
Like, if you don't appreciate all of this, then guess what? There's not a second chance for that.
Oh.
Come on now. It ain't it's no county line. And then it's I feel that people become too comfortable.
Oh, the men didn't like that. The men did not like that. I'm sorry. The men didn't like that. Okay. Sorry.
People become too comfortable.
Oh.
Partners no longer listen, lazy, disrespectful, and do not know how to talk to you with respect. Those are the groundbreakers for me. I can't tolerate that.
Livy?
So for me, it's crazy. So coming from a family who, with parents that did separate, for me, I've just been on this journey trying to figure things out about, divorce, relationships, because I'm always very sketchy with relationships. But I think a main thing is people don't really know how to be single. I watched a sermon about that, and I feel like people are not really able to, how do you say it? They're not okay with being single and being alone. I think being alone scares a lot of people. And so I think they rush into these relationships and then they, feel like, oh, I'm this certain age, so I'm supposed to be married at this time. And then you guys have two people coming together that are probably not really supposed to be together. And then we have mistakes that happen like divorce. I think, it's all about a solid foundation. I feel like people go into relationships. I feel like people go into marriages with so many different things like that's going on internally, like, maybe issues that they didn't, figure out when they were younger growing up. So I think foundation is key. And I feel like people don't have, even mental illness. That's serious business and people don't like to talk about it. It's really on the hush hush.
And it is.
But a lot of grown people have issues that they didn't figure out and don't even know how to handle it. Some people don't like taking medication and that will help out relationships,
That's
right. So I feel like just handling those internal battles first, I think that's what kind of can lead to divorce when you don't handle your issues.
Yeah, well, I feel you. I feel both of y'all. Because I was talking to my boy Tommy the other day, and he said 99% of women have mental illness, and that's what kills relationships.
and we believe that 99% of the men have them too.
Right.
So they really kill them. They kill them before they start.
I didn't say
exactly.
If you see Tommy, take it over Tommy. Tommy said that. No, but just joking. But all jokes aside, I think for me, I mean,
let's hear this.
I'm ready. Let's hear
there's a lot of things that can break a relationship. You know what I'm saying? I mean, cheating for one, because first of all, yes, there is a double standard. If a woman cheats, that's it.
Heart
wrenching. Yeah,
that's it. Why is that?
Because men
let's stop right there. But can we just stop right? Why? But why is it okay for you guys to go out here and swing a lang a lang? With your dang lang lang, but we can't sit on the chippy.
See, why? Wait, you almost sent me into something. Hey, go on now.
Why is that
you
fine?
You talking to a hungry lion right now.
I really want to know. Why is that fine? Why is it okay?
Because we're wired to go out there and get it, and y'all aren't. So it's like if we aren't looking for an emotional connection, we are looking to get.
Just for that moment.
We're looking
just
for the
to feel
drug. Yeah,
good.
it's a drug. For us, it's a drug.
So
we gotta
why
get it.
married? Because a lot of women are looking for the same thing too. Guess
No.
what? No, yeah.
Because we be like, hey, can I get in tonight?
What about this
well,
new
okay.
thing with open marriages? How do you guys feel about that?
I think
But this is my thing with marriage, open marriage, cheating. This is it. Why get into the relationship, right?
Mm-hmm.
To cheat. Just be single and do whatever you
Well,
want.
I don't think we get in a relationship and be like,
Just-
hey, let's go cheat.
It doesn't
it's like,
matter. Just
when women start showing you some attention, that is very strong. Women can do a lot of things. Women run really.
We
to
run
be
the world,
honest,
we know that.
Women do run the world
You men
because
don't
that's
have self-control. You guys need to practice self-control. That's what it really is.
But
that ain't self-control. That's too hard.
okay, but look, but seriously, why get in a marriage? Why get in a
Because you probably
relationship
still love the person.
if you? But it's still it just be. You know what? Let me just break it down to you.
Oh Lord.
I got into a relationship
Uh-huh.
with a guy that was already in a relationship with 2 women, right?
Mm.
Had babies and everything.
That
But
sounds
I
great.
got into the relationship because he was truthful with me from the beginning, and I didn't really want I had just got out of a relationship, right?
Wait, he
So
was
I
honest about the 2
He was
women?
honest about the 2
and you
women.
respected that?
I respected that so much.
I wouldn't respect that
When
at
I
all.
say I did, because he was being honest with me from the gate. That's all people ask for is honesty.
Well, you know what?
Period.
Okay, well let me
You
say
don't
this.
know what somebody wants, because at that time I did not want a man.
Well-
I just wanted somebody to kick it with.
I need a little. I need a little help. Then I need a little help. So look, we got a special guest. I'm gonna bring her in, and notice I said I'm bringing her in. I don't know if it's gonna be helpful for me or not. I think it's gonna be another bashing. But check it, man. We got the CEO of JPR Leadership Consulting LLC.
Yes.
Yes.
That is Mrs.
yes.
Dr. Shanetta Weatherspoon.
Wait, hold on.
Guys,
She got that
she
doctor
she got
though.
all the
Whoa.
degrees, y'all.
Uh-huh.
All
That's
the
what I'm
degrees.
saying. And she's
The
so
MBA.
but she is so beautiful.
Man.
On point.
So beautiful.
Thank you.
And
Her
the
hair is
crowd
whipped.
loves it.
And
Beauty
it's
and
not,
brains, y'all.
it's not Mrs.
It's not Mrs.
No.
It's Miss.
I'm divorced.
Ms.
Okay.
And it's just doctor. I
Just
earned
doctor.
that.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, that's what I
right.
said.
Don't
Doctor.
mess that up.
Don't put the Miss
Don't-
or
right.
Mrs. in front of that.
Oh, so
Doctor,
she say
don't-
no man
Mhm.
claims.
There you
Yes,
go. Let
yes,
them know.
yes.
Let them
Uh-huh.
know, Miss Shanetta.
So I'm 2-time divorced.
Okay.
This is recently my second divorce. So I have a lot to say about
Ooh, I can't wait.
marriage
Yes.
and why they fail sometimes.
Shoot.
But I'm also an advocate of marriage. So I believe in the both
Mhm.
union. I believe in marriage, but
Mhm.
I also believe that if it's not for you and you're unhappy, you should do what you need to do to make yourself happy.
Well,
Absolutely.
let me ask you, because I want to know what your answer is for the question of the day. Let me ask you. So, this was brought to me from another talk show for some of my friends. Tell me again. What's the ladies? Her wind down. Her wind down. Okay, right? Do you believe that there should be, like, let's say every 5 years you go in, like, let's say you get married, and every 5 years you can have it, let's say, re-upped, I guess. Like, to where if at the end of that 5 years, you go in, you can see the judge and say, hey, are you guys still cool? You want to stay married? Or y'all could just make a clean break right there. So you have an option. You can stay married, or you can just get a divorce. Don't cost you nothing, or maybe cost you $100 or whatever, and you can just make a clean break every 5 years. What do you think about that?
I feel like that's too complicated for what love is, like what marriage is supposed to be. Like, marriage is supposed to be a union of love. Marriage is also a contract, in my opinion. Like,
Yeah.
it's a
Mhm.
business
Definitely a business
deal.
deal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a business deal, and I feel like that's too complicated. I feel like if you think of it in a business perspective, right? Organizations and businesses are not coming together, and like every 5 years we're gonna figure out if we're gonna break up. No, they're saying, and we're going to figure out in the next 5 years how we're going to be better, how we're going to be rich, how we're going to grow together. So when you talk about partnerships, I think you should talk about it in that same framework or that same paradigm, as opposed to that you're setting yourself up for failure if you're going to say, okay, in 5 years, I'm going to be thinking about if we should be together. No, it's not an option. It's how we're going to grow together, how we're going to build together, how we're going to reach feats together, as Beyonce said. You know, right?
I can just say a lot of men would disagree, but I see it from both sides as well.
I mean, men are not the smartest people in the world.
Right.
So whether they disagree
I
or not,
disagree.
is
Women are from
we're the
Venus,
crowd.
men are from Mars.
Thank you, crowd.
men-
Thank you. Okay.
We're just different.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, we run.
Oh, you really made
Right,
them
and we
upset.
run things. Shanetta, I want to know, so what do you think are the top 3 things that, people should look for when finding a partner?
Right. So I feel like it's definitely the foundation. So for me, my 2 marriages failed because the first marriage, I was very young. That's my kid's father. When we got together, I was very young. And what I was looking for was kind of what my family heritage kind of was like, okay, he's a good man. He has a job, like the minimum stuff. He's providing, he's this. But it wasn't taking into account the woman I was becoming. So, I was in school. I was young. My frontal lobe wasn't developed. Here I am, somebody's mother. And so you don't know who you are. And so the woman I became was too much for my ex-husband. He's a great man for someone else. He just wasn't a man for me because the woman I was becoming was going to be a boss, was going to be successful, was going to make money. And he was content with being just regular old job, 9 to 5. And so, and having that dichotomy in our foundation is really important. He didn't believe in education. I did. He didn't believe in foundational things that I believed in, like God. And I did, and practicing. And so, but when you're young and you make those kind of decisions, you're not thinking about that. You're moving along with your emotions, right? Because you're not emotional. The frontal lobe is not developed, right? So I was married before 26. And so that's what ruined that marriage. Absolutely. It wasn't necessarily cheating. I don't believe he cheated on me once because I will hurt someone. I don't like when y'all were talking about
like Essence.
When y'all was talking about that cheating, I'm like, wait a minute, is that an option?
That's not
because
even
don't come and tell me about no cheating. I bet not find out.
Damn
not today.
Hey.
Or tonight.
He probably did a good job.
Okay, yeah, he did.
Because I found out one.
What? No, we
I found out one, and it was nighttime. It was nighttime when I found out, and I had that in my stomach. Hallelujah! And I jumped in my car, and I went
that women intuition.
I did, and I went. No, I didn't bust them out because I already been to jail before, so I didn't want to go back.
We didn't want to do that. Yeah, I know we be stabbing people.
Wait, hold on. We didn't get our 3 tips.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm waiting.
So I think it's the foundation, the stuff, the stuff that make you who you are. You want to make sure someone is aligned with that. I also think that you want to make sure that future goals is important. So people always think about who you are now, but like who you are becoming, who you want to be in the next decade. Is that person on board with that? Like,
they need to grow.
Right. I already knew I wanted to be X, Y, and Z. Is that going to be too much for you? And vice versa. Like that's very important. So not just thinking about the present, but the future is very important. And I think the like just little stuff like, do you want children? How many you have? Like I got my tubes tied as a single woman. So now going into a relationship, it's like my tubes are tied, but I want kids. Well, we can't be together because I'm not getting my tubes untied. So like,
that's going to be a tough.
Right.
Yeah,
so
tough.
It's like, how do you navigate that kind of stuff? So just making sure all those things are in order and you find a partner that you can be with. My second marriage, it was a facade. Like he put on like he was a great guy and then
don't they come? Like, they always do that.
As soon as you said
that, we're not gonna find out.
Crumble down, right?
That's the one thing that scares me. Putting on that facade and I think they're one person and then a year later, 2 years later, they just shift into somebody else that you ain't never seen before.
If I can interject,
please.
Did he put on a facade or was he trying to be changed?
Oh, no, absolutely not.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Sure it wasn't.
Well, we ain't even do.
That's a real question. I respect that.
Yeah, it's a great question. A lot of women do that. Like a lot of women get with men who
try to change them.
They see potential.
Yeah, I was gonna say they see
that
the potential
no one
in
else
them.
sees but them.
The potential is what he's telling you and showing you in your face.
No, they drop the facade even before you try to even think about changing them. That's I don't buy that one.
No, this guy was pretty
what do you
well
look
put
for
together.
now? What do you look for now in a man? Like what do you want now, moving forward?
Right.
Knowing what you know now.
Yeah.
Moving forward, I think I'm gonna take the time because I'm the type. Look, I'm loyal to I'm one of my biggest traits is loyalty, and so I expect that in my relationships. And so one of my faults in going into marriages, and this is through therapy, this is through understanding who I am and who I've become as a woman, is that once I'm in there, I'm in there, and so I need to make sure beforehand that we're a great match and we're a great fit because once I say I do. it's difficult. Like, I stayed in my marriages longer than I should have.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And not because they deserved it or because we didn't go to counseling or we didn't pray about it or we didn't go to, but because I was just like, we got to make this work. And plus, I'm a high achiever. So in every aspect of my life, academically, professionally, and personally, and because I'm an academic, I'm a high achiever, that divorce is failure to me. In my mind,
Pretty much.
I'm failing, you know? And so because I can't control, like, I can control my success in every other realm because it's my success.
Right.
But in a marriage, it's somebody else got to come with 50% of that.
Right.
And so I feel like you really have to, you got to look for someone who got that same thrust and drive as you, you know?
Let me ask you, so,
I
what
love
would
that.
you call a cheating woman?
A cheating woman?
Yeah.
Oh, I can answer that real good.
A man who is faithful to a woman, but the woman cheats on him. What would you call her?
A cheater.
A cheater.
Like you would call a man who's
No,
cheating.
y'all just called us dogs and all that kind of stuff.
Did we call you a dog?
No, I didn't say that.
We
Never
didn't say
came
that.
out of my mouth.
Heard it.
No,
Heard
no.
it.
See, they
See,
crazy.
that's-
They
that's-
crazy. You put words in your mouth that you ain't never said.
So,
Right.
but okay, so
No,
so what
she-
role is that she's playing?
She's playing the role of a cheater.
He's cheating.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's no
It's
word for it.
it's same
She's
thing with a
not
man.
loyal.
She
Okay.
ain't loyal.
Hey, listeners out there, there's 4 women in here. So I'm not gonna win this argument.
No.
Right.
But
It's
I
not
do,
an argument.
No, I know, but it's definitely
know.
a discussion
I
because
know.
all the men are like, man, get out of here with this. But I do need to know because we got a doctor, Shanetta,
Woo,
in
woo.
here. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Tell me a little bit more about the leadership consulting. So
Right.
what you do, how you do it, and what does it do?
So
Absolutely.
we just build people and build teams. I usually come in and do training and development. Recently a lot of executive coaching. So management, training, development, just to help teams, dysfunctional teams. Like there's trust issues, but there's folks that are really good professionally that they don't want to get rid of just because they don't have personality, for example. So just coming on board and making an assessment of the team or
How
the
do you teach that?
individual.
How do you teach
Make an
personality?
assessment of the team and the people, and just most people who are in those higher positions, they are higher achievers as well. So they want to learn. They want to know what can make my team better, what can make us make more money. And when you have that kind of motivation, they'll listen to you, especially when you have the research that support what you're doing. And so it's just coming up with a plan of action to move them forward. That's just one of my jobs, though. I'm a hustler, so I have to get somebody who is equally a hustler. So in addition to that, I run a $2.5 million program called the Foster Grandparent Program with Pepperdine University.
With Pepperdine. Right.
Yeah, I do that. And then I'm a professor at UC Irvine in the business department.
Expand on that,
All
the
the
Foster
acronyms, you
Grandparent Program. What is that?
Sure. It's been around for about 50 years. It's a program where we recruit people over the age of 55 to go in the inner city and work with kids who are at risk or have special needs. Yeah.
That's what's up, because that's exactly what we need right now, because the kids are, a lot of them are lost.
Right.
And that it's funny you bring that up, because we brought up this question 2 weeks ago, right? Maybe. What would you say to who let's say you ran into a young boy or a young girl. They were going down the wrong path. I'm going to say both. A young boy and a young girl going down the wrong path. Boy selling drugs. He's going down the wrong path, smoking weed, and he's looking to rob people. He's only 13 years old. Young girl, she's going down the wrong path. She's thinking about selling herself for money. She comes from a good home, but she just wants to be in them streets because that's what she sees on these videos. What do you tell them?
That's difficult. I would tell them not to do that. Like I was that girl. I come from foster care myself. My mom and dad was on drugs and alcohol. I was raised by my grandmother. So in Watts, so there was all kind of stuff going on in my neighborhood. And so I was that girl. So a lot of times people have to learn from experiences.
Yes.
But if you can get that ear, I do well. I used to be a youth probation officer, and I do well with at-risk youth because I'm truthful. So you just keep it real with them, and they respect you. If you demand respect and you're truthful, they'll listen. Like, not trying to judge. You can't try to control someone. You can only try to influence them.
Right.
And so you influence them by being authentic. And so once you release that idea of, let me tell you what to do, let me try to control you, I think teenagers especially will listen. And that was what helped me in my experience in working with youth.
Well, I have a question about your children's book because I wrote a book myself, True Essence of Love. And I will be going into the senior citizen homes on next year. And so, and I think that you had wrote,
Careful.
get them seniors back.
Come here, y'all. Come
on now.
We're going to have to hook up for the program.
We do because, and that's when I seen that actually when I was reading your bio. So I seen that you are working on writing that. And I will be also introducing into middle schools and high schools my breakdown for True Essence of Love, because I think that's the main thing that kids are missing these days.
Right.
They do not have it at home. And so you have peer pressure, you have suicidal, you have the drugs, low self-esteem, but that's not, it's not in the schools. Like love.
Yeah.
So could you tell me a little bit about the children's book?
Right. So it's actually a collaboration with my children. I have a 16-year-old daughter, Naila, and I have a 14-year-old son, Ray, Lil Ray.
Which one is the baddest?
Lil Ray.
She didn't even hesitate.
Look, Ray. Let me correct. He's not bad. He's strong-willed. So he's a little mini-me. When you have strong-willed children,
that translates to bad. I got some too.
He's strong-willed. My son, you are not bad. I love you.
Don't let me catch out there, Lil Ray.
Right. And so basically, it's just help young kids, particularly kids of color, navigate the world. So the first installment is called Mama Is This Professional? And it comes from an idea that my daughter she looks up to me and she's always asking, Mom, do I look okay? Does this look professional? When she has her presentation, she's always mocking my suits and how I look. And so it's just finding your self-esteem and your self-worth through your images that you see. And her image is her mother. So it's a character based off of us, and we're talking about self-esteem and how to develop that. And then the second installment is The Responsible Me, and it's me, my son and I wrote that one, just to kind of outline what is the idea about responsibility, because he's always like, what does that mean? You always telling me to be responsible, but Mom, what does that actually look like? So it's just navigating that definition with kids and helping them be responsible. So we're going to have a 12 installments in the series. It's the Robinson Witherspoon collection. And it's just gonna help kids navigate this world of growing and learning, without frontal lobe.
What your books do because of the day and time now? Do you have anything about or anything for kids that's shooting up the school? Because it's like this is happening like every week.
Yeah.
So like, do you have anything for that, or like how do you connect with that?
Right. That's interesting. I'll talk to the ideas tend to come from my children. Like I let them have like the creative, creative rights or,
rights.
to the project. So I always sit with them and say, hey, what do you want to talk about today? And that's what and it comes from our experiences. Gratefully, they haven't experienced anything like that at their schools, and we pray about it every morning. So we'll see, because it does impact them, and they do see it happening, and so it might be something they want to talk about.
Yeah, and I think these days, a lot of people just don't listen. It seems like the number one thing is listening, and I've always tried to be like that listener to someone, because people just don't listen to people anymore.
Well, yeah. I mean, because they don't think anybody knows anything.
Yeah.
I
also,
I'm dealing with that right now.
Sorry. Shanetta, you have over 15 years of experience in public and nonprofit. Can you tell me, what advice do you have for anyone who wants to start a nonprofit? Because there's so many people getting into creating their own organizations. Any advice for those who are creating and trying to get into that?
Yeah, I think that it's very important that you understand your mission and vision. Like, I feel like a lot of people fail, especially in the nonprofit world, when they're trying to do everything, because the money is very specific. Like, the money that you're going to be writing grants are very competitive. And you have to really have a mission that will speak to the changing times. You really have to have a vision that's going to last a long time. Those organizations who have long legs in the community really have strong visions, and they're able to keep to their vision, to their core values, but shift as needed based on those community needs. And so if you have a strong vision, you're able to tap into what the community need, but still hold on to those core values. And I think that's really, really important. And it helps you navigate the financial world. So I'm writing a journal article around, it's called Green Pastures, where it helps nonprofit managers kind of understand,
that's awesome.
you know, those three: compliance, the finance, and the vision, and how all those things align so that you can stay alive and well as an organization.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you are truly amazing. Just know that. I hope you know you are just doing great things. And you have an autobiography entitled Butterflies and Dinosaurs. Can you tell us, where did that title come from, and elaborate on that before?
Yes. So I am a survivor of rape and molestation.
Wow.
And when I was a kid, my grandmother she still has the wallpaper. There's like green wallpaper, and it had butterflies and flowers on it. And so when I was victimized, those butterflies would fly around. And so and when I was victimized, my defense mechanism was to have an outer body experience. And so I would be stiff like a dinosaur, but me would be floating around, kind of fluttering like a butterfly. So it comes from that whole experience, butterfly and dinosaurs. And I had this little small dinosaur that kind of looked like Littlefoot on The Land Before Time.
Oh my God, that's my
Littlefoot. And he, the long neck one, and he, and my dad gave that to me, and that was one of the only gifts he had ever given me. And I remember thinking the dinosaur was going to be able to protect me, to save me, and it did not happen. So it's called Butterflies and Dinosaurs, and it kind of outlines that trauma of surviving molestation and rape, and some other traumas that I've experienced in my life.
Wow, that is amazing.
Being that transparent is going to touch so many people, and I know it takes a lot to come out and share your story. So thank you so much.
That is so awesome.
You're very well spoken, and you're very strong, and your presence gives a strong presence,
and it gives hope.
And very peaceful and happy too.
Yeah, it's very strong. What
my kid's gonna be like, the lies they
tell. Let me ask you, okay? Because like you're somewhat, because I'm somewhat like that. Like I walk to the beat of my own drum. What is your definition of hustling? Because it seems like you got it down.
Right.
But what is your definition for, because a lot of our Black youth, Mexican and lower white, they believe hustling is selling dope, banging chicks, and doing drugs, which is, because we're having a problem with this right now, because all the rappers are dying over some stupid stuff. The young ones
are overdosing and all types of stuff.
They ODing on all that stuff. And it's stupid, because the older rappers are talking about it, but they're not doing that stuff. They're like, we ain't crazy. Now the crackheads are being they're being glorified. All the crackheads are being glorified. Like, no, y'all are crackheads.
Right.
You know? So what is your definition of hustling or a hustler?
Right. Definitely it's just hard work, dedication. I do a lot. I have my hands in a lot of different projects. And so to me, that's hustling, but it's also being a maven. I consider myself a maven in that I'm always trying to take someone with me. I'm always trying to pull someone else up. I'm hustling when I'm building the community, when I'm building people around me. And so, and I'm putting people in position to do better for themselves. And so, including myself, including my kids, which is why my kids are authors at a young age. Like I'm just, to me, that building a legacy to me is not hustling. It's just not for me, but it's for just everyone around me, Moving forward, I remember I was able to get negotiate a raise, and they were like, you can have this, we're going to give you the top of what you want, and I said, okay, well, give this amount of money to my assistant. And they were like, what?
Yeah.
Wow.
And I was like, yeah.
Yeah,
like
help you get there.
That's right. I need my assistant to be taken care of. Give her this, chip her this off top. And they were looking at me like, I've never had somebody do that, But if you want loyalty, you gotta be loyal. You know what I mean? You gotta be a maven like that. You gotta be able to say, look, you're not just supposed to sit on your behind. You need to go to school. You need to do this. What else you gonna be doing? And so I just kind of practice that. I feel like you're not a boss if everybody else broke around you.
Right.
Like
You
Jay-Z
better
and
say it.
Beyonce.
Two snaps to that.
Right?
Two
You
snaps
know,
to
you're
that.
not a boss.
You hear that slide?
Yeah.
You hear that slide?
I
How many
just love
people you
Shanetta.
punched in
She
the
is
face?
amazing.
How many
I mean-
people?
Yeah. I just know you done punched some
Listen.
people in the eyes and nose.
Listen.
18?
Y'all not gonna make me. Y'all not gonna jeopardize my bag up in here.
Right.
Listen,
Yeah.
okay. I definitely have punched a few people. I think they definitely deserve it. There's a few people that I still want to punch. And if I ever saw them, beware.
Don't punch him. Just tell me I'll punch him. No, I'm
Yeah.
slicing.
Oh, she'll stab you.
I'm gonna stab him.
No violence, you guys. No violence.
Exactly.
Well, check it, man. Has been nice talking to you.
It's
A
been a
doctor,
pleasure.
You know what I'm
Thank
saying?
you. Thank you.
Doctor.
Yes.
And it's Miss, don't get it twisted. She punch you in the face. And then True Essence will stab you. You know what I'm saying? But hey, for everybody, happy holidays. You know what I'm saying?
Happy holidays.
Man,
Thank you so
the
much.
holidays are here. We got the doctor here. She's spitting
Yes.
knowledge. Man, the crowd is loving it.
Yes.
Hey, y'all can chill. No? Oh, y'all can chill. Okay. They good. All right. So check it. Anything you guys say, Livy?
No.
What can people find you at? Your Instagram handle, Facebook?
Sure. My
Yes.
Instagram is Ticketmaster DST, and then my Facebook is
Slow
just
that
Shanetta.
down. Slow that down. Do it one more time.
Ticketmaster DST. Delta
D as
Sigma Theta, Ticketmaster DST. Okay.
Okay.
And then my Facebook is just Shanetta Weatherspoon.
Okay.
Spell that because
Spell
somebody
weather
be
and
like
spoon.
S-H-E-E-T-T.
Weather like the weather and spoon like you eating with the spoon, right?
think he's
and
a-
Shanetta.
and to get your services and and the
Right.
CEOs.
Just you email me dr.shanetta@gmail.com.
That's
Okay.
DR
Okay.
people.
DR. Yes.
DR, not the
Mhm.
whole word.
We got
Uh-huh.
Shanetta. Shanetta.
Well, check it.
SHANETTA.
There you go.
Awesome.
There you go. Woo, woo, woo. That's what I was looking for.
happy holidays.
So happy holidays. So
Doctor.
check it, man. I want to thank everybody. Dr. Shanetta, I want to thank you for coming through. Thank you for hitting us with some of this knowledge and spitting on the mic for us. This has been great. I still think all y'all about the women is wrong, but I ain't gonna get into that.
Oh, Lord.
Livy E,
Thank
There
you,
they go.
guys. Thank you.
Essence Love.
Yes. Hey, lover.
Hey, so look, this is Get Down Live, man. I just want to say happy holidays. We'll see you guys, you guys will hear us again in January 2020, baby,
Woo,
because
woo.
it's going down.
Ooh, it's a new
Have
year.
fun. Yep, have
New
fun.
year, my birthday.
You know,
Turn
it's
up.
her birthday. You know what I'm saying? Have fun. Party if you want to, but please be safe
Yes.
and drink responsibly.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Don't go out and shoot nobody. You know what I'm saying? Be chill. You know what I'm
Chill.
saying? Let's do it real for 2020.
2020.
But thank you, everybody. I'm your boy, Sly Jones. True Essence. Essence Love. I don't know why.
Essence love.
Essence Love. Livy E.
Livy E.
Thank you,
hey,
Doctor.
Hey.
This is the Get Down Live.
And we
Bye.
out.
See ya.